Well, hello there again, friends and family. So glad to see you. And I know it's been a few days, at least 3, since I talked to you last. But we're coming out this afternoon, to check what little bit we got planted. And if you haven't been with the channel long, or you're just tuning in, because we did get some subscribers, from the Alaska Prepper channel. That's Rudy, the godfather of prepping. I think he's loved by all. Excuse me while I eat some blueberries. And yep, we got plenty still. Even though I think it's what, August 15th? Let me show you, okay? Just quickly. Yep, you can see. There's still plenty. Now some are drying up to look like raisins and dropping off. But you know what? That's okay. Because every one of those that falls will at least be one new plant. And I got a plan for all that. We'll just throw them over in that blank spot. You see, I planned this to be an edible landscape. And if this all fills in solid with blueberries, let me show you one of the young plants that came up from last year when a berry fell. Let me show it to you right here. See right here? See that one? See that little lady? Yep. Here's another one right here. Now, I'm going to be digging some of them up to put them in other areas of my yard. Mainly in the more partially shaded areas where the pecans are at. Because I've learned here in the deep south that blueberries, you put them out in full sun, like they say, they will burn slap up. Yep, sure will. Last year I bought 4 blueberry plants. And instead of putting them here where these are at in partial shade, yep, we'll have a few more blueberries. I put them in full sun. And no matter what I did, Spooky, you with me, buddy? See, Spook's always with me. I put them in full sun and they just burnt slap up. It did not matter how much I watered them. Where these, in filtered partial sun, have thrived, as you can see. Oh, they're at least 12 feet tall or more. Yep, doing fine. What you say? Another plan I got is I'm going to come out here one day this week, and rather snacking on all my blueberries, I'm going to pick a pile of these off from all the bushes so I get both varieties, and I'm going to take them to several different locations, and I'm going to play like I'm Johnny's Appleseed. Yep, I'm going to do like old Johnny Appleseed did with apples. I'm going to take the dried berries like this one right here, and I'm going to sprinkle them out in areas. And I know they'll take, because I've watched it right here in this bed, in hopes that I can spread these 2 particular blueberry varieties in my part of the deep south of Alabama. And then knowing the birds will come along and eat them and continue the process. Right, Spooky? They will, won't they? Don't be munching on the dried blueberry raisins, okay? But the thing we want to do, and here again, as most of y'all know, we decided to and made a decision not to do much gardening this year, and I know that bothered some people. But I wanted to come out here today and show you how those tomatoes were doing, and what little bit we got planned so far in our midsummer garden here in the middle of August in the intense heat of the deep south. So like I say, we ain't got a lot. And if you watch my videos planting between the storms or during the storms or whatever, we stuck this here better bush in, and it was a whole lot shorter and a whole lot worse looking than it is right now. Oh yeah. Why? Because it was just polluted with that Spatoria leaf spot. And it was during that video, or the one prior to that, where I discussed tomato diseases, most common, that I showed you how I use hydrogen peroxide and water to kill such things as Spatoria leaf spot, early blight, late blight, and what have you. But this one here is taking off. Now yeah, this particular one right here, it was set in on the 20th of July. So it's been in a few days, past what, 3 weeks? And as always, once you replant, you're going to get some transplant shock for at least a week, 7 to 10 days, or 2 weeks, until the plant starts taking off. But it's doing fine. I'll guarantee you it has grown at least a foot since then. Started to bush out, and so far it's doing fine. And you can see it's even got some newer growth coming up from the very base. We'll take it. Now I have been periodically, once a week or more, depending on rainfall, spraying it with that mixture of hydrogen peroxide and water to kill off any fungal diseases. But you can see if you go back and watch those 2 videos, this thing is looking fantastic as compared to how it looked. Now you'll notice this little lady tomato in its pot, and this is a volunteer, and it was right here beside this one, and you too can see that in those videos. And I transplanted it into this pot. And yeah, this is a volunteer from a hybrid celebrity. And you say, why would you want to do that, Mr. Tom? Hybrids don't produce true to their variety. Well, they don't for a period of years. But celebrity's been around pretty much long enough to become an heirloom now. Now this was taken or grew from the seed that was dropped last year from also a volunteer hybrid celebrity that started right here, where here again another better bush is. And what makes this particular better bush special, if you watch my great tomato test video, which I'll link both videos when I planted these on the end screen, so if you'd like to, you can see how they started life. And this one here, to do a test, we put everything in the hole down there that everybody's ever recommended for planting tomatoes. Yeah, everything. Such as coffee grounds, eggshells, banana peels, oh Lord, baking soda, Epsom salts, compost, organic balanced fertilizer we put in there. Whew, I can't even remember all the things we did. But it was over 10 or 11 things. And you can see it's doing fine. Is it any larger than this one right over here? And you can use the side in there as a reference. Now this one was planted the day before with nothing more than worm castings. Oh yeah, that was something else we put in that one with 10 or 11 things in, forgot. And it was also planted with the balanced fertilizer, Expert Gardener from Walmart. I think it was a 544. And what else we throw in there? It was worm castings, the Expert Gardener, balanced organic fertilizer. Oh yeah, and my own homemade compost. That's all this one got. And if you look, you can see the top of it. And then this one over here that got everything but the kitchen sink. As far as I can tell, it's about the same height. Which was part of the point of that video. All those things that were recommended to throw in the hole, just like organic fertilizer, takes time to break down and to benefit your plant. Trust me, it does. And if you think about it and you compost, you'll know that to be a fact. It takes time. Will it kick in this fall? Well, I'm going to see if it will, and so will you if we can keep them alive during this scorching heat. Now, the one thing that's amazed me about this little bitty volunteer is that came from the Celebrity Volunteer in 2020, which came up from the original hybrid Celebrity that I planted right here in this bed in 2019 is, you see how it is? All throughout, massive heat, don't matter what kind of day it is, how hot it is, it has never showed the first signs of heat stress. No, not one bit. And even these here better bush, they've showed very little, but up here the top branches will get a little bit wilted down during the height of the sun, during the midday extreme heat here. And we've been up in, Lord, 110, 114, 15 heat degree days for I don't know when. And here's one right here, looking a little sad, ain't it? I don't mind showing you what ain't going good. I actually bought, this is one of two, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That's a tomato variety. It's a Heat Master. It's supposed to be heat tolerant. Well, this little jewel here, it gets rather wilty during midday extreme heat. And I've had to cover it up to get it through. And she still ain't looking all too chipper. But she's surviving. And I still come out every morning and I talk to her. You know, I try to encourage her. Now I know it's extreme out here, baby, but you can pull this off. And I give her a nice drink every morning, as I do in the evenings. And so far she's surviving. But as you'll know, when I talked about heat stress in tomatoes, yeah, there used to be one right where that pepper plant is, and it's missing. It was the same variety, this Heat Master tomato. It didn't make it. It didn't matter that I covered them up during the intense heat. It didn't matter I watered them twice a day. It didn't matter that I'd put worm castings, well balanced organic fertilizer in there, my compost, and I talked to them, and this one over here made it. That one over there shriveled up and died. You see, what I'm thinking is, and I may be wrong, because I talk to my plants. You can call me crazy, old man. I don't care. But this one here has always gave me that female vibe. You know? Well, the one that was over there, he was sort of stubborn, pig-headed, you know, like we males are a lot of times. So I took it. He was a male tomato plant. He didn't make it. But you can see the pepper plant there, even though it's got some damage on it, is looking fairly fine in its place. And if you see these type of holes and missing leaves, and you come out here every day and you can't find no critters on it, no matter when you check, we need to come out around midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning, because you will have something that you didn't believe. Slugs. Yep, slugs. And that's what all this damage is about. And for years and years and years, not only gardening, but in commercial vegetable farming, I had a problem when this type of damage would happen, and I couldn't find caterpillars, I couldn't find nothing on the leaves anytime during the daytime. So, one night, and this was on my commercial vegetable farm up on Pea Ridge in southern Tennessee. I got up, told the wife I was going to go out and check the peppers. Told her, I'd told her what had been plaguing them, and I couldn't find the culprit. And I did. I went out with a headlamp on, flashlight, big one of those you used to put that big old battery in. That was the best we could do back then. Nothing as bright as flashlights are now. And I started searching. And here again, what did I find up on those plants eating all the tender new leaves? Yep, slugs. And of course, here I use one of the most common methods to get rid of them slugs is I would like to sort of think of it as their last meal. I put saucers down here. I actually went to Walmart and bought about 8 of them. Not my good china, not that I got any. And I'll go buy me some cheap beer, and I'll fill them up at night. And you know what? Rather than eat my peppers, for whatever reason, slugs really love peppers, they go over there and they start drinking that beer. And they get greedy and they slip on into that beer. And I'm not sure if they die from alcohol poisoning or just drowning. But each morning, I got dead slugs in those saucers. If you ain't never tried it, you should. Works really good. And I do also have a type of slug killer called Sluggo. But on this bed so far this year, I haven't broke out the Sluggo. I've just been sticking with the Keystone beer. It's cheap. $7.98, 15 pack. Every once in a while, Spooky, he likes to partake of a beer on Friday or Saturday night. I'm just saying, I've tried to talk him out of partaking in it, but, he says he's German. He should at least have one beer. So, as you can see, even though it's been middle of August, no, actually middle of July till the middle of August, when here in the deep south most tomato plants have been toast, these are coming along. They're looking fine. In fact, I think it's this one here that's actually got some blossoms on it. See it right there? Yeah. One's already opened up. And if you don't know, you got to come over and tickle these. You just tickle them, vibrate them a little bit, and that helps pollinate them. You see, actually, tomatoes do not require insects to pollinate. Nope. You can look that up. Check it out yourself. There's some more blossoms starting to form right here. So I'm thinking this little lady is all fine, well, and happy. And tomorrow, we'll keep her water. Yep. But actually, this one looks bushier. That just had the compost, well-balanced organic fertilizer, and worm castings than this one does. I don't know. Maybe it's just the angle you get at. I think right now they're tied in a dead heat as far as the race to see which way will be better than the other. But I'm going to tell you this. If you want to throw coffee grounds, eggshells, Epsom salts, even though you don't know you need it. I covered all that in that video. Then it ain't gonna hurt them. It ain't gonna hurt them a bit. But I got to figure out a place to put this little jewel. And that's another thing I want to touch on right now. Because I've seen questions come up on other gardening, homesteading channels. Do seeds acclimatize after each season? Now I'm here to tell you, that's how nature works. Yep, sure does. With every season, the fruit, and i.e. the seeds produced from this tomato plant, will be more acclimatized to my growing conditions right here in the deep south. And that's a fact. And it's been well known. That's how they come up with things like Heat Master. All the rest of them. And so many other different traits. Yep, it's not GMOs, folks. Nobody's moving genes around, because you cannot buy GMO seeds for your home gardens. That ain't happening. So if you're paying a premium at some of these garden centers or seed catalogs or what have you, that charge more because, non-GMO, there's no way for you to buy them in the first place. That's just marketing and charging you more money. Now granted, there is a difference between hybrid and heirloom. But like I say, this celebrity, it's been around for so long I can't even remember why. Lord, it may be approaching 40 years or 50 years. Normally, when a vegetable variety reaches 50 years, it can be classified as heirloom, if I remember correctly. It's somewhere around that time. So, that's what little bit I've got in now. I got me a green bell pepper going. I'm trying to nursemaid my one last Heat Master here. I hate to give up on anything. I'm continuing with my 2 better bush. And I got more coming along. And as we progress through the season, you'll see it. And through the fall. Throughout the fall. Into early winter and beyond. We'll see all what we can get in this little bed. And we'll see how much food we've actually produced. I got a few other things down there on the other end. But that's for another video. Sort of like a super secret. So y'all, it rained some today. Of course it rained some yesterday. Well, it rained quite a lot yesterday. I'm not sure if the rain gauge hasn't but evaporated. Ah, well there we go. I'll take that in and clean it up. We got a 1/2 inch today. That is good. I think we got 1.5 inches yesterday. So that's all good for the grass. Grass looking good. Latonia's looking good. Blueberries looking good. They appreciate the drink. And I say this so often. If there was one berry that I would plant in my landscape going forward, with all the craziness that's going on in the world, it would be blueberries. But you got to pick right. And like I say, these 2 varieties, and normally you got to have 2, so it increases production. Will they still have berries? Yeah. Nothing like what you're seeing. And each blueberry variety will have a certain recommended companion pollinator. It's like these 2 are, one variety is powder blue, and I forget which ones are which now, and the other is premier. And by planting the 2, you get a better harvest. Not saying you wouldn't get any with just one. And to think about it, I've been munching on these since the 2nd or 3rd week, thereabouts, since June. Of course, As you can see, Spooky's at my feet. He don't know what the big deal is. Well, I drop one, he'll check it out. I think he actually has ate a few, but he ain't real big on them. But he'll try some, just 'cause Papa does. So, I don't got a lot going, and I know that disappoints some of y'all. Hey, Speedy. Yep, there she goes. But can't make everybody happy. You know, you can only do what you can do. Oh my God. Is that a pig? Oh yeah, perfect one too. Oh my Lord. There's another one. And you gotta take these things now. Ooh, got two. Oh man. Got three. We're gonna eat this one. That was yummy. There's four. I think I'll eat that one. Oh yeah. There's five. If I break off with the stem, and this is what happens, and don't get disappointed. Yep, birds got to that one. It's okay. We'll throw it down there. So, I've got five. Birds got one. Uh-oh, here's number 6. Yeah. That's got the stem on it. That's savable. Let's look at this one here. Well, this one's about to fall off. So, we're going to eat it. Oh, yeah. And there's more. You can see them now. Do your research. And if you can find a fig variety that'll grow in your neighborhood, I too would think about growing me some, because they don't take a whole lot of work. I fertilize these once they get done fruiting, which they probably got, oh, let's see, probably another 10 on them or more. Once they get all done with that, you know, I'll get all my grass chopped out of here. I'll lay down some good balanced fertilizer, you know, some 5-4-4 or what have you, and then I'll mulch it all the way around like I have in the past. You can probably see it out there. Leaves and pine needles, and build it up. It should be good to go to this time next year. And you can see right here, and you can look back in garden walkabouts in years past. This has had 12 inches or more of mulch laid on it and maintained. This year we've been a little short on mulch, and you can see my centipede grass. You know, it'll scoot along this here ground, but don't take much to rip it all up. Yep, most of my yard's centipede and zoysia, because both are drought resistance here in the deep south. Fescue, it don't got a chance in the deep south. Does fescue grow in the deep south, Spooky? Nope, but they sure do sell the seed for those who don't know, don't they? Just a waste of money. Speedy, are you looking for a pig? Okay, sweetie. And maybe it was Spooky that been chomping down on those figs. Who knows? So I just thought today I'll give you an update on the tomato plants. You know, show you where they are. In this case, you thought the reason old Mr. Tom ain't showed them to you is because they didn't make the trip. And show you what a beautiful day we got here in the deep south of Alabama. Nice blue skies, partly cloudy. Nah, I'll take it. I got my Speedy right there under the fig, and my faithful garden companion and walkabout panther, Spooky. Now it's currently, you know, you can see the sun's getting low, and we've been blessed today. When that rain showers came, it dropped the temperature down. It's currently about 84, 85. Of course, humidity's on up there, but I'll take it. So now all we can do is we'll come out here once that sun gets a little lower. Yep, we'll come out later. Once the sun's down past the tree line, and we'll give the tomatoes a drink, the pepper a drink. Look at the other seed starts we got coming along. Of course, I've already looked at them twice today. And that. And we gotta, you know, sit down sometime today and plan what we got to do for the week to come. And like always, y'all, mosquitoes out here this time in the late afternoon. I think it's around 4:30 going on 5, are intense. I've done been bit 3 times, and I don't need that. Hence why I'm going in. For whatever reason, they're not out in the early morning hours. They do love to come out in the late afternoon on through the early evenings. Now, like I say, I do come out before I go to bed, and I check my plants. And I don't have much going on right now. That'll increase as summer progresses into late fall, into fall. And you'll get to see it. Are we planting enough to live on? Well, no. Here again, that all gets back to some previous videos where I showed you why old Mr. Tom ain't all that interested in planting, maintaining, and harvesting and preserving a whole lot of food this year. And in that video where I talked about long-term food storage, oh, there's, I guess the best way to put it, way more in other locations, to the point where I have enough and I need to start using some of it. So, like always, I do hope this finds y'all happy, safe, and well with your friends, family, and loved ones, wherever you might be. I hope your gardens are growing well and are fruitful. I hope you're putting that food up if you so desire to see the need. I hope you are enjoying the times out in nature. Enjoy the rainfall, the sounds of the night, and the quiet sounds of the wakening birds and critters in the early morning hours. Walking through the dew in your bare feet if you choose. Getting your hands dirty and getting dirt under your nails. I personally, for one, think dirty hands are a sign of godly labor and good health. Of course, my daddy always said he didn't trust a man that had manicured, clean fingernails, because he don't work for a living. And that was his opinion. Times have changed since those days. Some, 60 years ago, Now people make their livings in so many ways that have nothing to do with dirt under your fingernails. So, until Speedy, sitting out there like always, about 6 to 8 feet out. Spooky, which is always right under my feet or on my feet, as you know. Him and Cleo try to lay on my feet, keep Papa from going anywhere. See you on the next video, right, Speedy? Y'all take care out there. Stay safe. God bless you, your family, your friends, and your loved ones. Till we see you again. Goodbye for now. Right, Speedy? Spooky. Everything must be good. Yep. Go ahead. You gonna go out there and jump on Speedy? That poor little thing. Or did you see Cleo coming? Is Cleo coming? Did she hear my voice? Nope. It's time to attack Speedy. You the man. Do not pick on the princess, okay? Yeah, you should be ashamed. I'm just saying. Okay? You know, she's a lady in waiting in the court. Yeah. Remember, you're just a prince. Isn't that right, my little Speedy? No? You're the queen? No. Well, you're the queen when Cleo ain't around. But I'm sure we'll see her tonight for chow. We know where she's at. She's at her secondary home because they're here today. She loves kids and they just bathe her in attention. Now with that, got to go in and check Gracie. Later, all.